So there it is. Just look at this. Two massive dreadnoughts exchanging fire. So as I said, I'm going to try to minimally like add to this. I just want to let the two ships kind of fight it out. I'll just send the Eclipse slightly forward a bit. We'll also do two matches. We'll do one without and one with the turbo laser. But yeah. Hey guys, this is Eckhart Slaughter. Hello and welcome to another episode of Star Wars Empire at War Remake. We've upgraded. We're on to the 2.3 version. But yeah, we're playing this live on Twitch. If you guys do want to join and follow along, there'll be a link to that down in the description. We're doing something that I think is pretty fun today, and which I hope will be either a weekly or bi-weekly series on the channel. Essentially what we're going to do is put two capital ships head-to-head together. Basically, I'll narrate it. I'm going to do... For some, maybe I'll try to go in there and directly control one ship, see if I can win with tactics. Other times we're going to do more of a pure simulation, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and do... It's in skirmish battles, and special thank you to Madame for helping me get this set up. Also, Madame is one of the coders and modders for Empire at War Remake, so very helpful. And I'll make sure that there's some sort of time codes either down in the description or on the screen, so you guys can skip forward to the battle that you want. Commissar John also with another gifted sub for 9 in total. Thank you very much. Let me just check. So we've got all the custom maps here. I think we might as well start big, right? Eclipse versus Executor. I think the Empire will technically be the Eclipse, and the Rebellion will be the Executor, because I know that they have the Lusankia, which is probably how that's working. So let's check. Let's test this out. This is gonna be fun. Over Yavin 4. Ooh. All right. So there it is. Just look at this. Two massive dreadnoughts exchanging fire. So as I said, I'm going to try to minimally like add to this. I just want to let the two ships kind of fight it out. I'll just send the Eclipse slightly forward a bit. We'll also do two matches. We'll do one without and one with the turbo laser. But yeah. So for those of you who don't know, which it might be some of you, because the Eclipse is a famous Star Wars Legend ship, but you know, there are lots of famous Star Wars Legend Superstar Destroyers. Also, Snow Assassin with 6 months of Twitch Prime, who says, I'm his favorite Star Wars streamer. Thank you very much, man. Drop the Angry X for that. So the Eclipse was basically the flagship of the reborn Emperor Palpatine when he emerged after his brief slumber from being thrown down a reactor shaft in the Death Star. Basically, for those who don't know, Palpatine, let's send the fighters. Bomber standing by. Just make them do something. As I said, we'll need to do a bit of minimal control here. So Palpatine died. He came back from the deep core with a fleet of new warships, including 2 Eclipse-class star dreadnoughts. And that is what we have here. As you can see, maybe, the Eclipse is armed with a super laser. Not quite, oh my god, look at this broadside. Not quite Death Star power, but still powerful enough to, you know, do serious damage to a planet and to destroy most capital ships. But otherwise, probably a little bit shorter. We'll be able to see in a second. A little bit shorter than the Executor, slightly, when you take the Executor's tail into account. But overall, much more massive. Like, look at the depth of this ship versus the Executor. And actually, one thing that's quite interesting, we also see features like these are interdiction bulbs, the super laser, of course, and although not in this mod, I don't think, in Legends, the Eclipse makes use of different starfighters, shadow droids, droid starfighters, and it's just kind of imbued with the dark side of the Force. Look at this broadside, though. This is absolutely devastating. say the shields, yeah, so the shields in the Executor are about to break. Ours have a little bit more, so I guess we're kind of outpowering them. So what's interesting about the Eclipse is, and I've talked about this in prior videos, I've got an actually entire video dedicated to it, but the short version, the Executor, this Super Star Destroyer over here, has had numerous different size revisions throughout its history. For some time in the lore, and when you read old Star Wars books like the Rogue Squadron books, they talk about the Executor being 8 kilometers long. For a while and a half, it was 12.5. And it's had various different kind of canon measurements before falling on the 19 that we know and love now. So when the Eclipse came out, it was put as 17 kilometers long. And although that now makes it technically shorter than the Executor, when the Eclipse was created, it was larger than the Executor, if that makes sense. So the Executor ended up getting scaled up through continuity, for continuity reasons, but our fighters also aren't really doing anything. I'll have to tell them to engage.
TIE interceptor here.
So the point is the Eclipse, or sorry, the Executor got scaled up, but the Eclipse never did as well. So realistically, this ship was always meant to be longer and larger. But yeah. Taking a look at the Executor cityscape, it's just like you'd expect. I always kind of, when you look at the model, you do see kind of these little dots. I took those to be kind of smaller turbo lasers, and then these being kind of the larger turbo laser towers. You see shield bulbs and little, you know, greebling everywhere. That's the great thing about Star Wars ships. You look at stuff on the surface and your mind kind of just like, okay, this thing over here, these are shields or something, or, you know, scanning technology. Like, oh, there's probably, you know, this is the bridge. I mean, that one's obvious, but this right here could be some sort of power generator or whatever. Nero with another tier 2 sub on 6 months. Thank you very much, guys. Drop some Angry X. He says, that's half a year. Holy shit, that's a long time. The Nebula Star Destroyer versus an Assertor Battlecruiser. That's actually a great idea. The Assertor's not currently, or the Assertor's in this mod right now, but the what's it called isn't. The Nebula. It's interesting. I wonder what ship is more nimble. These are not very, these commanders are very by the book. They're just like, eh, we'll fly up, we'll shoot at each other. That'll be that. One thing that I'm really excited about this series is, especially as this mod progresses, I'm curious to hear what matchups you guys would like to see. Because, yeah, I mean, the possibilities are endless. Whenever I do and you guys will see that with, maybe we'll do that for the next battle. If there's something really cool I want you guys to see.
Under control.
Yeah, the Nebula wouldn't be able to survive against an Allegiance, or sorry, an Assertor, but an Allegiance would be an interesting battle. Because the Allegiance is like a totally combat-focused Star Destroyer. So they give the Eclipse more sensical engines in this mod. I think you do see a couple rear shots of, this is the Eclipse 1, the Eclipse 2 is slightly different. It only has 3 engines, I think.
I'll take care of this.
Well, the Mandator 2 would beat the... I love the, how the mod has this kind of interesting design for the Eclipse, where it's like these 2 kind of trenches. This is where the super laser starts, and it meets right here, presumably with some sort of emitter here, and then bam. Very cool. I'm pretty sure, and again, I did a whole video on this, and I do the calculations of what the Eclipse should have been upsized to. I think when it was 17, the cannon for the Executor had it being 12.5.
Bombers at the ready. Ready to receive orders.
Can you imagine how terrifying this would be? It's just a random fighter.
Getting a lock.
Oh. Something's going on. He must have to. He must be changing his turrets or something.
Narrowing position.
Just massive. Let's take a look at the undersides of these ships.
Pursuing enemy
It's kind of weird that the
tightening up.
everything I've seen as the Executor doesn't give it a giant hangar on the bottom. But I guess the hangars would probably be in this like brim. Oh, I guess there is some in. Oh, okay. Maybe that's where they. That's cool. I don't know if that's what the how the cannon treats it, but they've got it like a very fractal sponge-esque hangar system in here, which is pretty cool. I really like that. Kind of reminds me of like the exterior of the Death Star.
Back. I'm taking hits.
I like that, yeah.
Sir,
I mean, you could probably carry. I don't know. Not quite a Star Destroyer, but maybe a Victory.
I'm on this one.
I think it was said that the Eclipse could carry a Victory in its hangar, wherever that is.
Watch him. He's coming around. Returning to your position.
The
Setting.
I think the comic artwork for the Eclipse has big hangars near the front here, and it also has a big one. It has this thing right here, I'm pretty sure,
Take care of this.
being the hangar.
My scopes are jammed.
So we decidedly do have the advantage here. Because it seems like the fight is kind of certain,
By my will.
let's hit it with the laser.
Getting along. You won't be around much longer.
That's cool. So yeah, that's how the super laser works. I don't know if it will one-shot the enemy with its shields fully up, but that is cool. Yeah, that was a hell of a bank shot. I just love the shots of just the one thing that looks so good in this mod is like the ships dying, like the little explosions and stuff. Especially when you have like ships fighting over it. Now it's being pulled down to the gas giant. So this is Yavin. I don't know if Yavin 4 is here. I don't see it. Luke's 9-degree torpedo that took out the Death Star.
Closing on target.
You gotta say it recharges pretty quickly too. I didn't use the special abilities either because I don't know if the AI will automatically use their abilities. I think they probably will, so maybe that's something I should do for future battles just to keep it fair. Damn, man, that was pretty brutal. All right. Not super surprised on how that turned out. Let's go ahead and try another one. Could Nebula take a hit from the laser? Oh god, no. I'm interested. Our starfighters seem to dominate. Maybe that's because they kept closer to the SSD. Okay, so we've got a few. This one I'm excited for. Mandator versus Subjugator. Fortressa versus Archammer. But before we do that, I want to show you guys something really cool, which kind of shows you guys why I'm excited for this mod. So, you guys remember a couple of days ago I did a video on like my ideal Imperial fleet? Well, Madame was kind enough to basically put this fleet into the game. Now, there are a few ship substitutions, but generally it's pretty damn close. Sovereign versus Viscount, the Sovereign would probably win, but the Sovereign was never finished, so it's hard to say. So this is cool. Alright, let's begin. So this is the Imperial fleet I designed. Basically, we've got CR-90s for anti-fighter. I assume that these Vigils, which I'm pretty sure are a Fractal Sponge ship, are replacing the... oh, we're being attacked already. So let's bring everyone kind of close together. Are replacing the what's it called?
reporting on our way.
Raider gunships. Got the Acclamator as a carrier. Got Nebulon Bs for kind of basic duty. And then, of course, the ISD and the escort carriers here. So this is pretty cool. This just like really opened up the possibilities for me, or kind of showed me the possibilities, because there's a lot we can do with Empire at War, and it would make the battle breakdowns and stuff a bit more interesting. So the point of the Victory Star Destroyer is basically to give the main Star Destroyer a bit more options. We can flank enemies. We can try to move around side. This MC-80. We'll keep the gunships and whatnot in kind of a protective position. This one's not a simulation. I just thought this was really cool.
Holding for maximum active. Ready for duty. Direct fire at their laser cannons. Yes, Commander.
And in this position, even the Venator, like I said, back kind of from a safer distance as a carrier, can still, you know, support the fleet. And this is a absolutely beautiful Venator model. But the ISD is taking the brunt and is having no problems. We're protected nicely from fighters. Should actually move these Nebulon Bs up a little bit. See, I can even move this Victory kind of even to the rear of their formation.
Awaiting orders.
Hey Chaos, good to see you too, buddy. Welcome to the stream. So in reality, this is I think this is supposed to be the Victory 1. I probably would have went with the Victory 2, only because the Victory 1 is like known for being really slow, and the Victory 2 is much faster. It kind of gives up its like cannon, or its whoa, something did serious damage to this ISD. Let's move the rest of the fleet up. I do think in this mod too, keep in mind, in this mod, Rebel ships are a little, well, the MC-80 class, in my opinion, is a little overpowered, but I'd say I probably just didn't have my, fighters up, or my anti-fighter ships up close enough.
Preparing for combat. Commander, they're reporting. Target those lasers.
Well, so much for my perfect fleet.
The shields aren't holding.
Okay. So, right now, Nero with 1,000 bits. Thank you very much. A Tarkin Doctrine style Imperial at War playthrough. I gotta say, that does sound like a really cool idea. I will consider that. That does sound pretty cool. Guys, drop some angry X for Nero there.
Destroy those missile launchers.
Let's watch this Venator. Just look at those cannons go. Oh man. So we did lose our ISD, but
Yes, Commander.
yeah, problem is I left too many ships back.
Keep your eyes open.
Take it in. Form up. Ready. The engines are our primary target.
What ships are in this mod? There are a lot, to be honest.
Cruiser reporting.
I think now we just have a few escort ships to finish off, and we've got the advantage even in that
Advancing.
area, so.
It's not a Star Destroyer, but it will.
Really don't like this ship. Not this model. I like this model. I just don't like the look of this ship generally. It only really appears in Rogue Squadron also, I believe.
Gunship reporting. We're on our way.
Awaiting orders.
This model is just beautiful, though. Such like a just reasonably designed ship. I don't know if those are supposed to be. I assume those are just laser cannons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 laser cannons,
Our launch bay has
kind
been
of covering the
destroyed.
whole ship. Besides the back, I guess. But then we got what I assume is maybe missile launchers in the front. Lots of sensors, a few big turbo lasers. I really like this design. I think we've basically finished off the enemy.
Enemies in range.
Alright, so we did win. I mean, we lost our ISD, but we did still win.
Battery is
I think it was probably the fighters. I don't think our anti-fighters were aggressive enough, which is probably my fault. Nacho with another gifted sub. 105 now. Alright. I think we're going to call it that. At least for the videos. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you have any matchups that you'd like me to see, let me know. Or if you'd like me to do. If you would like to see, let me know, and I will maybe do them. No promises, but you know what? We'll see. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And yeah. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye, YouTube. Twitch, say bye, YouTube. Alright.